further on that point, again, like I said, I was going to tell you guys the pros and cons. These are kind of the cons of my experience. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. Today we are going to be going over my first experience with ordering from Porter Candle Supply. And that does include, we are going to be doing some out of the bottle sniffing of some of their fragrances. I have never ordered from Porter Candle Supply before, this until now, obviously. This was not sent to me or anything like that. I did order these fragrances myself. This video isn't sponsored or anything like that. I just kind of wanted to share my first experience with them, talk about some good things, some things I wasn't really a fan of, and just, yeah, some things like that or whatever, and just kind of go over my first experience with ordering from them. I did order, like, I can't even remember how many fragrances. I want to say like 14, 15 different fragrances from them. I actually ordered them like quite a while ago. It was like the end of January. I think they were doing a sale or something like that. And I wanted to try out some of their 2-ounce fragrances and stuff. And so just to kind of get a few, see, you know, if I liked any of them and stuff like that. I did get a like wide range of scents. That way I could kind of get like a really good idea of like, are these fragrances worth the price? Because if you've looked at their prices, you know that they are definitely a little bit on the pricier side, and stuff like that. And so I kind of just want to see, you know, is that price worth it? Or, you know, can you find something similar, you know, other places? And so that's what we're gonna, you know, kind of hopefully find out today. Obviously, I'm not going to be putting these into wax today, so I'm not going to do like a full review of these fragrances, but you know, at least, you know, out of the bottle, I kind of want to see just what they smell like, how they are, and stuff like that. And then I will eventually put some of them into wax and stuff like that, and I'll give you guys an update in a future video. But for now, this is kind of just my first experience overall, as well as like, you know, some just smelling some fragrances. So let's get started. You can tell this box has been sitting for a while because it has some cat hair on it, as everything in our apartment does after a while. So I did get 14 fragrances. I just had to count them all again. But yeah, I got 14. I did try to get some that were like spring, summer, and then also a couple that were a little bit more fall, just because I'm already thinking about fall and stuff for 2024 and stuff. And I always like to just get a wide range whenever I'm ordering from a new place and want to check out their fragrances and stuff like that. And so that's why I got several different kinds. So we've definitely got some sweet, we've got some floral, we've got some beachy, we've got all kinds of stuff. And so yeah, I'm really excited to smell these. I am going to do this a little differently than usual. It's probably going to go through a little bit faster through the fragrances, just because I'm not necessarily focusing just specifically on the fragrances. I'm just focusing on my experience ordering and stuff as a whole. And so that obviously includes the fragrances, but yeah, you know what I mean. So first up, we are going to be starting with Scandinavian Oak. Their font is a little, like their lighter font is a little hard to read there, but hopefully you can see it. This one is nice. Very, it smells like something I've smelled before though. Like another fragrance oil specifically that I've smelled. It smells like oak moss and amber from Candle Science. Yeah, very similar to that. It's nice though. I really like that scent. It's one of my summer collection scents. This one maybe has like a little bit more, I want to say like sea salt or something similar to that. It's like a little more salty, if that makes any sense. But it's very similar to Oak Moss and Amber from Candle Science. But again, very nice, very fresh, very earthy type scent. Very good for like a summer collection, or just kind of like a high-end like hotel collection, or something similar to that. I think this would do really well. All right, next up is Pumpkin Coconut Cream. As you guys know, I love any kind of sweet bakery, especially pumpkin-y type scents. So I am really excited to try that out. This is like, this is nice. I really like this one. This smells like, it smells like fall on the beach. That's what it smells like. Which is kind of funny because my family goes to, we don't necessarily, but like the rest of my mom's side of the family, they go to, sorry, I can't stop smelling this. It smells so good. But they go to Florida every year in October. And I used to, like when I was a kid and stuff, we would, you know, we still went back then and everything. And so, yeah, this kind of reminds me of like fall on, ooh, yep, just hit my nose. But yeah, it smells like fall on the beach. Like if you were eating something sweet, like cinnamon toasty, while you were enjoying a nice beach vacation at the same time. It smells really good. I definitely pick up on the, like the coconut cream. I definitely pick up on like some cinnamon, the pumpkin, all of that. Yeah. This one is nice. I really like this one. I've never smelled anything like this at any other place before. So I will say that. I will say this one is definitely a unique one that I've never smelled before anywhere else. Real fast, before we get to this next part of the video, it would mean so much to me if you'd give this video a thumbs up as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so that we can keep hanging out. But the next one is Prosecco Silk. Oh, and this one is very, very full. Very full. Like it's literally almost coming out of the bottle. So if you get this one, be very careful when you're opening it because I almost spilled it everywhere. It's like literally, I'm not even kidding, it's filled up to like here. So just beware. It smells really, really good. I'm not really getting a lot of Prosecco, I don't feel like. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. It doesn't smell as like bubbly, I guess, as I expected. Yeah, I don't know. It just smells a little different than I expected. Like I said, I'm not getting a ton of Prosecco. It doesn't smell bad. It just doesn't smell like what I would have expected. So, but that's all right. Next up is Peach Gardenia, which I love the smell of peach and I love floral scents. So we'll see if I like them together. This is a very nice spring summery scent. Yeah, I like this one. It reminds me of like going to like a farmer's market and getting, you know, like sometimes they have like, or at least the farmers markets that I go to, sometimes like they'll have, you know, like one vendor, like they'll have, you know, fruits and veggies and stuff like that, and then others will be, sometimes they're selling flowers and stuff like that from different vendors. And like this, yeah, it reminds me of like a farmer's market. I don't know why, but that's what I'm like thinking of. It smells like a very just bright, sunny spring or summer day. Yeah, smells really good. I definitely pick up on the peach notes in there. I was afraid that the gardenia would kind of overtake the peach, but it definitely balances out really nice. You definitely smell the peach and the floral notes in there like really mixed together really well. All in all, this is another good one. Next up is Sea Salt Surf. They very accurately named this one. I definitely pick up on like the sea salt, like beachy notes. It's got like a little hint of like sunscreen type of a smell in there, like a good sunscreen, not like a nasty one. Yeah, it definitely smells really good. I feel like this almost smells like a certain type of like sunscreen that I've smelled before. It reminds me of, it's not like a spot on, like exactly, smells like exactly this, but it reminds me slightly of Coconut Soleil from Candle Science. Yeah. It's not, like I said, it's not a spot on like dupe or anything like that. It doesn't smell exactly like that. There's definitely some like salty notes in there, like beachy salt, sea salt, ozone type notes in there. And it does smell like a bit more subtle, I would say. It smells like a very nice beach vacation. Next up is brown sugar milk tea. Yep, I like this one. Love it. Yeah, the brown sugar notes definitely are like the first thing that kind of hits you. But I definitely am picking up on kind of like the milk and tea in the background and stuff as well. It smells like a really nice fall winter drink. I mean, obviously you could have it year round, but like, yeah, it just smells like a really nice, warm, cozy fall winter drink. Next up is Tiger Lotus Ginkgo. Gonna be honest, I have zero idea, zero expectations of what this will smell like. No idea what either of those things smell like. It's very different than I expected. I mean, I didn't really have much of an expectation, but I don't know, for some reason it's earthier than I thought. I guess I was thinking it was going to be more, I think because of the lotus, I was thinking more floral, which there are some floral notes in there. Okay, I'm getting more floral now. I think at first I don't know what I was smelling, but yeah, I'm definitely getting more floral notes now, the longer that I smell it. It does smell good. It's very, very fresh, very floral, with definitely like a nice mix of like some earthiness in there to kind of round out the floral, so it's not like, bam, flower attack. It's like a nice, well-rounded floral scent. Yeah, it's just very nice spring scent. Reminds me of happiness. Next up is verbena rosemary. Ooh. This... Okay, so this has some mintiness in it. It smells almost spot on to, so we went to this nice hotel, like, I mean, it wasn't that nice, but like nice for us, hotel, like maybe it was back in like, I think it was like September, October or something like that. Because I know we were doing a market like far away, and so we just stayed in a hotel for the night. And they had a rosemary and mint like shampoo. And it smells exactly like this. And it smells so good. I like wanted to immediately take it home and like figure out how to make it into a scent because it smelled so good. It feels very high end, very luxury type scent. Yeah, it feels very just like a fancy hotel. Feels like you're on vacation. It smells very peaceful, very spa-like. Yeah. Next up is persimmon scones, which very interested in the floral slash bakery, like, you know, just how it's going to be rounded out and everything, because, yeah, I don't know. I've just never heard of those two things being combined, like a kind of a bakery scent and a floral scent all in one, or at least not that I can think of. I'm sure maybe I've heard of it, but I just can't think of it right now. But this doesn't smell as good as I was expecting. Okay, I'm picking up more on the scone notes. I was getting a lot of persimmon at first. I am picking up more on the yeah, like the whatever notes would go into into making like a similar to like a scone scent. It still doesn't smell like what I would have guessed that it was gonna smell like. It doesn't smell bad. It's not. It's very untraditional. Let's say that it's not something that you would find at very many fragrance suppliers, probably. That doesn't mean it's bad. I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, he doesn't like it. It's not that. It's just, it's very different than I've, like, ever smelled before. And I would not have, like, put it together in my head that this is what that was, you know, when someone told me persimmon scones, this is not what I would have pictured the smell be. There is something on the back end of it that I'm not loving. I'm not in love with. I don't know what it is. It almost smells like mangoes or something like that, which doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, I'm picking up on some kind of fruitiness in it that I'm like, it's giving it a weird, just a weird vibe, if that makes any sense. It's not a bad fragrance, like I said, it's just very different than what I expected. Next up is Avo Ginger, or Avu. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I've got to get out of my head ginger being like a bakery scent all the time, because this is definitely not. This is very earthy. It's very earthy, very planty, but not floral at the same time. I was, for some reason, I think my brain was just thinking, you know, gingerbread, like it's gonna be sweet. And so I was a little shocked. It does smell good. It smells very, kind of high end. This is one I could definitely see being in like a fancy hotel or a spa or something like that. Very much like verbena and rosemary. It's very, it gives me very, very rich luxe vibes. Oh, I think it's supposed to be a mix of avocado and ginger. I was like, I'm looking on their website now. I was like, I don't remember buying this fragrance oil. I don't remember it. Okay, it's avocado and ginger. That makes more sense. So yes, avocado and ginger. Now that I feel like I have to re-smell this now that I actually know what, yeah. I'm definitely getting some, like, I think I saw on there that they have like it has some kind of tea notes or something like that, and I definitely pick up on that. Yeah, I pick up on the ginger root, and avocado and all of that. Yeah, it definitely, it makes so much more sense now that I like know. I was like, I don't know what avo is. I was like, what is that? Next up, another one I'm excited for is pumpkin cream cold brew, which I kind of hope that this doesn't just smell like a pumpkin spice latte and they just like renamed it. I hope that's not what it is. That is kind of slightly what I'm expecting, but I hope it's different than like your traditional pumpkin spice latte. So I guess we'll see. It's definitely different than your traditional pumpkin spice latte, or, you know, at least the ones that I have smelled. This definitely is creamier, which makes sense because, you know, pumpkin cream cold brew. Yeah, this one's definitely much more on the sweeter side. It does not really smell like coffee almost at all. Like there's not really a coffee scent to it, hardly at all. I mean, it's like slightly there, but very, very little. It's very sweet, very kind of a bakery type scent. I was kind of hoping that there would be some way that you could kind of smell like the coldness of it. I don't know how you would even do that. But yeah, I mean, we have smelled other fragrances. I mean, usually it's like mint, eucalyptus, something like that, where you can kind of almost like it feels cold, like the vibe of the scent, if that makes sense. This doesn't really feel like that. It feels like I mean, it does smell like a nice, like warm drink. I wouldn't say it smells like a cold drink though, if that makes any sense at all. It does smell very fall, very fall, very wintry. You could have it for either one. It smells really good. I love, as you guys know, any kind of scent similar to this. Yeah, and this one's definitely really good. I would not say it smells like your traditional pumpkin spice latte. So if you are looking for something similar, but not, that's a little bit different, with a little less coffee in it, I feel like you would like this one. Next up, I don't know why they like hand wrote it on there, but I mean, it works. But this one is called Mango Lassie. Very mango-y. Very mango-y. Just, I mean, obviously that makes sense from the name, but yeah. Very mango-y. It kind of smells like a drink you'd get at the beach. Like probably an alcoholic drink. I feel like I'm smelling some kind of alcohol in there. Which it might be an alcoholic drink. That might be what it's named after. I have no idea. I don't really drink alcohol very much. So, I have no idea. Yeah, very mango-y. I feel like I'm smelling some like orange and maybe some pineapple in there as well. But the mango is definitely like the most prominent note. Yeah, and it smells really good. Very sugary, very sweet, fruity scent, if that makes sense. But yeah, really great summer scent for sure. If you're doing like a summer collection, or even just like a beach collection or something like that, this would be a good one to think about for that. And we are down to our last two fragrances. This next one is Sea Kelp and Sage. This is a nice one. I'm always a little iffy about like beachy sea salt type scents. This one is very nice. Yeah, I definitely get a little bit of the beachy notes, the beachy like sea salt. Overall, this doesn't smell bad. It's not really my vibe. It's not something I would personally probably have in my line, but it's definitely not bad. It kind of, I don't know if I'd say it smells high end. It smells beachy. I'll give you that. But yeah, it's like I said, not my vibe, not my thing. Definitely other people would definitely like it. I feel like I've heard a lot of people talk about this scent too, like rave about it. I could be thinking of a different scent from them, but I could have swore it was the Sea Kelp and Sage or something like that. Or it was like a bestseller on their site or something like that. I can't remember, and I just, yeah, I'm kind of like, I mean, for some people, for me, I'm kind of like, it's all right. And last, but hopefully not least, we have Mahogany Pumpkin. I feel like it's a good sign when you end on a scent that I think I will like. I always assume I'm gonna like any kind of pumpkin-y fall type scents. Yep, sure do. This smells it's not super sweet. It's not as, I don't know. There's something like almost a little like smoky about it. It smells really good. It still smells sweet, but there's like almost like a smokiness, like a toastedness to it, if that makes sense. Yeah, it almost smells like toasted pumpkin or something like that. It smells really good. I don't know. I'm not smelling a lot of, I was thinking it was going to be more woody just because of the mahogany. which I mean, I smell maybe a little bit, but not as much as I was expecting. It's definitely still on the sweeter side of pumpkin, which I'm not upset about at all whatsoever, as you guys know. Yeah, this one's a keeper for sure. Okay, so now that I have kind of gone through their fragrances and stuff, I kind of want to just go over, like I said, my experience as a whole, shopping with them and stuff. So first off, I'm going to mention their website. I love their website. I love how it looks. I love the design, the layout of it and everything. It felt pretty easy to navigate from what I remember and everything. Like I said, I did buy these fragrances now. It was like January and it's now April something. It's April 8th as I'm recording this, but yeah, and so it's, yeah, definitely super easy to navigate. I didn't have any issues finding anything from what I remember. I loved the look of the site and everything. The layout was great, was really great, very modern kind of website and everything, which I really loved, because I feel like a lot of a lot of candle suppliers, kind of like some of them have just like really weird websites and stuff like that, and they're kind of hard to navigate sometimes. Not all of them, but you know, there are definitely some that like they're a little bit harder to navigate and everything. But theirs was really easy to find everything that I needed and stuff. They have waxes, they have fragrance oils. I'm honestly not sure what else. I don't remember what else they have. Those were the only two things I was really interested in. I was really mostly looking at their wax and fragrances. I will say, so at first glance, their waxes do seem a bit higher on the price range, but then I realized if you spend like over $150, you do get free shipping from them though. So, I mean, I understand they're kind of adding that cost into that or whatever. So, I mean, I don't know. You'd have to kind of shop around and kind of see, you know, if you could find other cheaper prices. But it does seem a bit high to me. But again, they are adding in that shipping. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking into. You know, for me personally, like, it is high, but that's just because I can get Soy 10 at my supplier right down the street. I can just go pick it up. I don't have to ship it or anything like that. So, I mean, it wouldn't be worth it for me, but for other people, it might be, you know, just fine. It just kind of depends. You'd have to kind of play around with the pricing and stuff of shipping from other places and just see if it's a better deal or not. But again, it did seem a little high to me. I mean, even before I realized that, you know, I could get it at a different place and stuff, it just, yeah, seemed a little high. Their fragrance oils, definitely, I mean, I waited till they were on sale. I think they were 50% off or something like that. I believe it was 50% off. I could be wrong. It might not have been that much. But yeah, and I still, like, sometimes was like, ooh, this seems a little high. So they definitely are, you know, more expensive fragrance oils, and after smelling them, I'm a little kind of like, I don't know if I would necessarily want to pay, you know, a whole, like, that much. They don't really, so far at least, again, I might feel differently once I add them into wax, but they just don't really seem all that different than what I could get at other places. Like, yes, they do, like, some of them do smell higher end and stuff like that, but pretty much everywhere has a scent that smells higher end at this point, you know, has scents, actually multiple usually, that smell, you know, higher end. So, you know, would I justify the prices? Honestly, I don't know. I would have to, like I said, put them into wax to really know for sure. But if I was just judging out of the bottle, I would say they smell like fragrances you could probably get, for the most part, just about anywhere else. I mean, there was a few, I think the Prosecco Silk was one, and I can't remember, there was maybe one or two others that I, you know, mentioned that, like, the smell is more unique and stuff like that. And maybe they do have more of those than I'm aware of, but, you know, like I said, this is just my first experience, so I'm just judging it off of this experience alone. So don't take this as, like, you know, this is the end all be all or anything like that. But, you know, I just wanted to share, like I said, my first experience. And then finally, I did want to kind of talk about my experience with their shipping and stuff like that. So their shipping, I paid, well, okay, so first of all, the amount of fragrance that I ordered was not even equal to 2 pounds total of fragrance. So keep that in mind. And I generally am used to, like, if I'm buying, you know, fragrance that I'm going to use, I'm buying obviously bigger, larger bottles of fragrance, like the 16-ounce or higher. And so this was not even, you know, a full 2 pounds of fragrance altogether. And my shipping was $25.83. And keep in mind, the box is this big. It's like a 7 by 5 by 5 box, which is not large at all. I ship boxes that size all the time. I ship boxes bigger than that and heavier than 2 pounds all the time. And I just know that they don't cost $25.83 to ship. So was there something wrong with their website that day? And maybe I should have, you know, asked, like, hey, this seems really, really, really stinking high for shipping for fragrance oils. Is this correct or something? You know, I don't know. I never reached out to him and said anything about it. So maybe possibly there was just something wrong with their website that day, and maybe possibly it's not normally that much. I don't know. But I just know that that is how much I paid for it, which seems ridiculous to me, if I'm just being real. I'm only 2 states away from them. Like, I think it's like 11 hours to Austin, Texas. So I just have a really, really hard time believing that that is actually what they paid for shipping, or anywhere near that, to be frank. And so I just feel like it's one of those things where they're upcharging on the shipping. Again, I don't know that. I don't know the logistics of, you know, what's going on behind the scenes there of what they're paying for shipping. But I just know that I've paid, you know, I've sent bigger boxes that were much heavier, much bigger, and they did not cost that much to ship. And so I'm just having a hard time believing that that is, you know, that was the actual cost of shipping. But yeah. And then further on that point, again, like I said, I was going to tell you guys the pros and cons. These are kind of the cons of my experience. And I feel really bad saying all this because I never want to, like, you know, bash a company or anything like that. Porter overall seems like a great company. Joanna, like, I don't know her personally, but, you know, I've watched videos and stuff of her and stuff. And so they do seem like a great company. Like I said, I'm just giving you my initial thoughts and everything like that. So don't take this as like me bashing them or anything like that. That is not the point. But I just want to share my experience. So initially some of the fragrances that I did order, they were a pre-order. So I will keep that in mind for sure. But I originally ordered, my order date was January 30th. And then my fragrances they had put something on their site. It's not on there anymore, obviously, because the pre-order's done. But they had put something on their site that, from what I understood, the latest date that the orders would be shipping out was like February, I think it was like between February 15th and February 20th was like when they were going to be, like February 20th being the latest that they would ship out. Which, keep in mind, at that point, you know, I've already waited from January 30th all the way to, so almost a month or whatever. And again, like they put that up front and all that. So, you know, is what it is. I did, from the wording on their website, I was thinking that they were going to still be shipping out the other products first, and then I would get the ones that were pre-orders later, like they would ship those later. And I thought at first, initially, I was like, okay, maybe that's why shipping is so expensive, because they're technically doing it in 2 different shippings, which, again, not great, but whatever, you know. But yeah, and that wasn't the case. They did wait. They held all the fragrance oils until they, you know, got got all of them in or whatever and shipped them out and stuff like that, which again is fine. I probably just misread it, but either way, it was, yeah. But again, like I said, I was thinking that the latest date that they were going to be shipping those out was February 20th. Mine did not ship until February 24th, which is only 4 days later. I mean, 4 days later than, you know, when you're already waiting a full month and stuff. Yeah. It's not a lot, but it is. At the same time, it's like, that's a long wait for some fragrance oils. But, you know, so they shipped out February 24th. I honestly, I don't know what day they got delivered or whatever, but I assume they got delivered, you know, however long after that. But yeah, so I was thinking it was going to ship out very latest on February 20th, and then it was actually 4 days after that. I get it, you know, things happen, whatever, you know, it gets backed up. I get it, you know, it is what it is. I'm super graceful when it comes to shipping and stuff like that because I just get it. But you know, when you are paying over $25 for, you know, shipping for something that I just know, I feel like there's no possible way that it could have actually costed them that much to ship. So yeah, and then when you think that you're gonna get at least some of the fragrance oils earlier, yeah, it's a bit much. I was a little frustrated, but you know, it is what it is at this point. Yeah. On top of that, they did send me a message, and I'm glad that they did send me a message because I feel like some places would have just not said anything. But basically, the Sea Kelp and Sage, that fragrance was not available at the time that it was supposed to be. I believe that was maybe possibly one of the ones that was on pre-order, which I feel like this is the problem with, I see companies doing pre-orders a lot, and I just don't like that business model because I feel like every time, unless you're the one personally making the order, I feel like you are asking for something to go wrong. Like, I feel like you're just, you know, asking for a fragrance not to be delivered, you know, things, whatever, like manufacturing issues happen and they get put on back order, and then you've had all these people who have pre-ordered and now they're the ones waiting. You know, unless you're the one manufacturing or making the product yourself, like, you know, like if you're doing pre-orders for your candles and then people are ordering and all that, and then you know, like have time to make them or whatever, like that's a little different because you're the one making it, you know exactly how long it's going to take and stuff like that, so you can give them a more like estimated time. But when it comes to like you're depending on a manufacturer to for sure deliver on their set date, like it's just not a great business model in my opinion. I think it's just it leaves too much room for error and too much room for things to go wrong. But again, I was the one who purchased, so that's kind of sort of on me. But anyway, long story short, the Sea Kelp and Sage fragrance wasn't available. They did email me and let me know, and they even gave me like a little 10% off thing, and then they were going to ship it out whenever they did get it. They did eventually get it, but it was like, I think it was like a week or two later, maybe. I can't remember the exact dates. I don't have documentation on that, and I just don't remember because it was like over a month ago now. So I don't remember exactly, but it was, you know, then having to wait even longer for, you know, the last fragrance. It just, in my experience, wasn't a great first impression. I get it. Like I said, I get that, you know, things happen, things get dropped, whatever, you know, like I said, stuff happens. I get it. But overall, it just wasn't it wasn't a great first impression. It wasn't horrible. Like, this is not going to stop me from ordering from them in the future if I decide that I do want to carry some of these fragrances, or if they have other new ones that I want to try out or whatever. I'm not going to, like, you know, look back on this and be like, oh, nope, not going to order from them, or anything like that. But it just overall wasn't like the greatest first impression. But again, it was just a first impression, first experience. I understand things happen. But yeah, I just want to hear from you guys, your thoughts, how you feel and everything like that. Have you had experience with them? Have you had a really positive experience or not so good? Yeah, whatever it is, let me know down in the comments below, and I would love to talk about it with you. But with that, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you'd like to continue hanging out, there's going to be some other videos that pop up on the screen. And as always, I will see you there.